True Blood this week. Let me start off by saying I was wrong. There. Okay. Fucking there. I was wrong. Last week, Jason did not get in the car with Warlow. Although I wouldn't have been shocked if he did. Let's be real. Okay? Because in the first shot of this episode, you see the real Warlow breaking free from wherever he's been, that dark realm that apparently is wet for some reason. That place. We see him break out. So the real Warlow is here. We find out that the dude that picked Jason up is his fairy grandfather. Fairy grandfather. Yeah, that's kind of weird. But hey, fairies are old. It happens. You know. So, that's interesting. I'm going to be looking down. I have this paper with the notes of what's happening. I'm sorry, I don't have the mental. That's not true. I'm not stupid, but whatever. Okay. So, wow. So, sorry about that. I'm fucking blanking out. So then we see Tara. She's laid up and she's screaming because she got a bullet in her, and they're trying to figure out what kind of bullet this is because she's not healing. Vampires tend to do that. They usually heal, and so they try to pull a bullet out and it's burning their hands, so they can't do it. They have to scoop it out with a piece of broken glass. You find out that the bullet is silver, which is great. That makes sense. Silver bullet, silver kills vampires. Great. Though it has a UV light inside of it as well, so it's a double dose of death. If she got hit any place close to her heart, she would have been dead. Alright. So it appears that humans have been playing for this war for a long time. At least as long. As soon as the first vampire came out and said, they were like, let's start making weapons. It's kind of fucked up. Nobody has any trust anymore. Bill, God, I love Bill. I'm having like a weird monster crush on Bill right now because one, he's feeling all the pain of all the vampires and he's seeing their struggles and he's literally feeling what they feel, and he's like some sort of vampire messiah. He's a vamp Jesus. That could be sacrilege. I don't know. But that's something. He meets the real Lilith because the chick that's been covered in blood, bloody everything was covered in blood, and she's been running around, and you think it's Lilith. She might not have been Lilith because I saw that same chick along with two other chicks covered in blood walk him to the place where the real Lilith was, fully dressed. And she didn't seem like a blood savage that I expected her to be. Because she said some interesting things. She said, one, God created Adam and Eve, but he created me first. I am not a god. There is only one God, and that's the guy who made me. Right? So, didn't see that coming. I thought she'd be like, throw blood on me, I'm the blood goddess. Or whatever. And that didn't happen. So more happens with that. I'll get to it in a minute. Sam is people are stupid and good at the same time. They have good intentions, but it always comes out weird. Now these kids are from they're trying to create like a vampire supernatural people civil rights movement, and they approach Sam about joining and becoming the face of supernatural people or whatever. And Sam's like, look, you don't want this. You don't want this fight. You don't want to be a part of this right now. It's really rough. Things happen. People get killed all the time. Mind your business. Go back to California, have a veggie smoothie and some brick oven pizza. I don't know how they roll down there, but that. Let me go back to Bill because Jessica's like, dude, this guy, he's been in like a coma for all day. Maybe if I get him some blood, he'll eat and he'll feel better and he'll come out of his weird funk. So they have a service where it's an eat a bitch service where the bitch comes and you like eat from me and she does it. And Bill does not move. He's just like in a, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not comatose. He's like in a, vegetative state. And he's just there and she's like, would you you want some, eat me? And he's not moving. She's like, oh, I think I should leave. There's something wrong with this motherfucker. Like, he's on something. And she tries to leave, and Bill politely asks her to come back without saying anything. And she does like the ring walk. You know how the chick does the walk with the ring, and she's like, all that, and like, but her bones and stuff are breaking as she's being forced backwards to in front of him. And she gets in front of him and he just opens his mouth. And I swear to you, every ounce of blood that was in her body just came out her mouth and into his. I was like, wow, you don't even have to bite a bitch no more? You really going to a new level. You don't have to bite people no more to get all that blood? You're shaping up to be one of my favorite new vampires. I mean, let's be real. Nobody will ever fill the space that Russell Edgington left in my heart when he was killed. Nobody. But you're on a good start. Good job. Then Sookie found this fairy dude who had been attacked by a vampire and somehow survived with only some minor cuts and bruises. That seems a little fishy to me because vampires, once they sink their teeth into fairies, they can't generally control themselves and they usually just suck them dry unless your name is Sookie Stackhouse, even if you do the little fairy blast. So I'm like, I don't necessarily trust him. I feel like something's like a little weird, and at the same time I feel like Sookie will just bang anything with a supernatural edge to it. Like, you know what I mean? It's not, she didn't bang him or anything, but you can feel like there's a attraction there, and it won't be long before they actually do it. So she's just like, if you're human, like, and there's nothing special about you, she's not interested. If you've been dead for about 100 years, or you turn into a big dog, then like you might have a chance with Sookie Stackhouse. Not bad. I don't even like. I wrote down here Andy and his daughters. Ha 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 ha. That's all I got because like they grew up like they grew up like 4 years overnight, and he was like, I don't know how to protect. I don't know how to do. Come get your goddamn kids. He was yelling at the place where the fairies. Poor Andy. I don't know. So the grandpa, the fairy grandfather, goes up to the kitchen and he's like, onto the bathroom, and he's like, is this where Warlow tried to attack Sookie from in the weird round place? And she's like, yeah. So, I mean, Jason's like, yeah. So he does like this little fairy thing where he's like feeling out the nature of this space or whatever, and then he goes in, and Jason's like, holy shit, he just left. And Jason jumps to go in, and of course we both know what happens. He hit the wall because he's stupid. So, minutes later, the dude comes flying back out, and he's like covered in gunk, and he's wet, and it's just like, where the hell were you? You know what I mean? It's like you were in, I won't say that, it's inappropriate joke. Whatever. So, he comes back out and he's like, look, he's gone. He's already out. He must have got out. I don't know when though. Sometime in the last 24 hours. He left. He's gone. So Eric goes to intimidate the new governor or the old governor or whatever, the governor. And Eric always comes off like he has a really low opinion of humans, because every time he portrays a human, it's like his shoulders go up and he's like, yeah, yes sir, why don't you? And he's like, it's fucked up. I can tell he does not, have a kind eye towards people. And that's fine. But like the governor said, he tried to compel him or glamour him or whatever you want to call it, and he was like, dude, that didn't work. We got contact lenses that protect us from your glamours. We got bullets that shoot silver and UV ray lights. I've been planning this attack forever from the moment that the first vampire stepped on the stage, I've been developing weapons to kill all of you. And that's it. Fuck y'all. So they took Eric into custody, and Eric was like, "Yeah, I'd rather not." He just flew off, and they're like, "Wait, they can fly now? I didn't know vampires can fly." Very funny, very cool. Then he goes after the governor's daughter, and guess what? She ain't got no contacts in. So it looks like he kidnaps her. Suki meets her fairy grandfather, and he tells her, "Look, you're very special. You're a very, very special fairy. You come from the first fairies, the original fairy family, which means you're a fairy royalty. I am a king. You are a far down princess, whatever." And he teaches her a technique that their family can do, where it turns to their light into this supernova thing that just destroys all the vampires around. And she can only use it once, or else if she uses it once, she'll lose her light and no longer become a fairy. She won't be a fairy anymore, and she'll have a normal life, which she still won't have a normal life because there's too many vampires and monsters and shit around her. But then Sam, they took Emma from Sam, Alcide and Emma's grandmother, and those damn kids were watching, and they saw the people, talking all the wolf talk and all that stuff, and I think one of them transformed. I don't remember, but they saw that, and they're getting this. They're gonna need help because they're gonna get fucked up. Yeah, because I wrote here, those nosy ass kids are gonna get their nosy asses killed. Right. So Bill comes out of his vegetative state / coma, and they turn on the TV, and you see the vampire getting dragged, the one that he saw earlier in the day. And Jessica was like, "You can see the future." And then he was like, "I can see the future." And then he is a flash of all of the vampire, all the characters